But yeah, I guess we're rolling.
That was the
We're
intro
rocking.
for our 12-year-old listeners.
Yeah. What did I even say? What
Welcome up.
Welcome up.
Yeah, it was
That's
kinda
gonna be my
something
new
like that.
thing, I think.
Ben, your voice has changed.
Yeah, the painting fumes are really getting to me.
He's just floating high.
It's full of estrogen.
Yeah, Dan, who we got today?
Ben Dub,
Paint fume bed.
Steve Man, Lukey,
Okay.
and Dan. And Joy.
No Ben.
No
yeah,
Ben.
Yeah, Joy is back on the pod, but / this might be the first time we're publishing a podcast that Joy's...
No. The first one.
Oh, we had a forgotten file that we purchased or published. Man, I'm going to be terrible on this podcast
Yeah,
tonight.
this is rough so far.
So,
Welcome
Joy,
up!
Tell us about your life.
My gosh, how about a little bit of intro?
Thank you so much, Dan. Wow, that's just the stage is mine, and I love that. My life is very...
Welcome to Unsought Opinions.
With the boys and girl.
/
Joy.
I think
Woman?
my headphones are turned
Unsought
down.
Opinions with the boys and Joy.
I think it's frowned upon to call a woman a girl, right?
It's also frowned upon to call a woman, so
I mean, it depends.
you're darned if you do.
Lady is nice.
Lady.
Lady.
So the boys and lady.
Lady and boys,
Lady
welcome
Joy.
to Unsought Opinions.
And the ladies of the night.
Okay.
Whoa.
Make sure that doesn't corrupt our file.
Yeah. Lost so many files over the weeks. It's been 2 weeks and we haven't published a podcast because life gets in the way.
Well,
and
we did a poll. I'm sure our viewers know that we did a poll seeing if they wanted us to come back. The numbers were overwhelming, so here we are.
Speaking of polls, how about that election last week? I'm
Dude,
so happy
I
that
can't
he or
believe
she
Elon
won.
Musk is the president. It's crazy.
Oh, golly, dude. It's been a crazy week. Martial law everywhere.
Dude, I had to sneak over here under military fire.
Guys, we don't have a video this week because the video's been cut, but we are currently videoing this in a basement.
Yeah. If you hear something in the background, it's the generator keeping us alive.
It's a bunker. It's not a basement.
Yeah, it's more
Right.
of a bunker.
Yeah.
There's an awful lot of metal insulation covering that I'm looking at. So
And we
yes,
know you
our
guys,
tinfoil hats are going strong.
we know you guys are in the same boat, but we're expecting you guys to be listening via
Honestly,
ham radio.
So I guessed that there was going to be a little bit of like martial law or whatever just because of election fraud and the weirdness stuff. The alien part, that threw me for a loop.
I mean, it was.
I
kind of
saw it
expected.
coming, yeah.
Yeah.
Started in Miami at the beginning of the year.
Comes
I mean,
full circle.
Supreme Leader Musk obviously had been sending rockets to the space for something, right?
That was Kim Jong-un, I think.
Kim Jong-un was assassinated. Don't you remember?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Finally.
So, Joy, thank you for welcoming us into your basement again. For those of you that don't know Joy, she made us cookies.
Which is very actually out of my stereotype.
Yeah,
Have I ever made you cookies?
Yeah.
I would like to think so. Maybe the last time we came, you made cookies.
Maybe,
But-
but it is my thing.
But it's like Mom Joy is different than not Mom Joy.
very true.
Very different person. And she made us all hot cocoa.
Yeah.
And we're in daggone Grandmother Hubbard's basement. We're going to die in here.
It does have
Is
a
that from
vibe.
Grandmother Hubbard's Cupboards that sponsored us this week?
Yeah, go ahead, Dan.
No, Luke, you got this?
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's a little hard to pronounce. They're working on their website. Grandmother Hubbard's Cupboards. Basically, it's kind of like a blast from the past. So, like, if you're looking for cupboards that kind of say to the world that, this is a tribute to my grandmother Hubbard, just check them out. grandmotherhubbard.com /
Unsought.
Cupboard.
/ throwback.
Yeah, they sent one to me. Honestly, I didn't
Like a
think
whole panel or just a one cabinet?
just the one cupboard.
That's kind of strange.
A senior. It's a standalone model.
I think they sent most of us the entire...
Did they send
No,
you guys?
mine was like the little Indian in the cupboard size.
Oh, dude, those are the best.
But
no, so mine was a
Yeah, Indian.
standalone style, and I didn't think that I would use a cupboard nearly as much as I use it, but it's full
Well, you know why, right?
because it's Grandmother Hubbard's cupboard.
It's not just a cupboard, right?
Yeah.
So
It's not just a cupboard. Well, that we
Guys.
all read different.
Normally, when I
Scripts on
listen to this podcast, when you guys go on those tangents, they're not that funny, but it's much funnier in person.
In person, yeah.
That's what our viewers say too.
The last couple episodes, I've literally cried, laughing too hard.
Like, Luke, no offense.
Am I boring?
No, I just didn't think you had it in you. That was really funny. Just to go off
Thank
the
you.
cuff like
Thank
that.
you.
It wasn't off the cuff. We were reading off of the
Yeah, I mean they're a
sponsor
sponsor.
sheet.
Well, I wouldn't say that they don't send us things just to read, Steve.
Yeah, you're right.
It's
But
like
we prepare.
spoken word.
Sure, we prepare.
More.
Yeah.
Spoken word.
Last week we had some really good ones, but we lost the video, so it was.
Yeah. That.
Yeah.
Wait, is that?
Yeah, we're just not gonna.
We're not gonna.
They pulled their sponsorship, so we're not gonna.
What are they called? Grandma Fickler's Tickle Pickler or Pickle? Shoot, Grandma Fickler's
Pickle
Tickler.
Tickler. It was Pickle Tickler.
Yeah.
Grandma Fickler's Pickle Tickler.
Yeah, that's what it was.
The other one was Boys and Berries, Boys and Berries.
Yes, that's
so
correct.
That was. But yeah, like I said, they pulled their sponsorship. I didn't want to bring them up, but thank you guys for. Go
Well,
ahead.
make sure you boycott them. So
Yeah.
let's just say that.
I started coaching my son's basketball team today as a third string coach.
So you
Third
brought them,
string.
you brought them water.
I'm the assistant to the regional manager. And so I came directly from work to go because I'm just like, so I'm dressed as you see me in khakis, and I brought a t-shirt to switch into, but like work shoes and like
Work shoes.
Sperry type shoes and whatever. And I show up and they immediately put me on defense for these middle schoolers that are about as big as I am. And so I'm like breaking a sweat in like skinny khakis and loafers, and like trying to post up on these middle school kids. It was the worst.
What were the other coaches wearing?
They were wearing shorts and a t-shirt and athletic shoes because they knew that they would be playing basketball.
Did they look like they knew what they were doing?
The coaches or the kids?
The coaches?
Yeah.
Wait, did you say you didn't know you were
This
going
was
to
a
be playing
bad
basketball?
experience.
I knew I was going to be coaching, but I thought I was going to be
That's fair. You,
administrating a lot more.
Clipboard style.
yeah, you
Yeah.
got thrown onto the court.
For sure.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready for that.
But it's also one of those things where, like, I wonder if they did it on purpose because they saw what you were wearing.
Yeah. Well, they were also playing defense.
Have
Oh,
you ever
okay.
played basketball?
Yeah.
Okay.
We played in the same league, remember? We've
At
talked
Lord
about
Fairfax?
this. No.
He's a sports guy.
I'm a sports guy.
See, the
Optimus
sports guy.
Club basketball, bro.
We did not know each other then.
We didn't know each other, but we both talked about it. And we
Interesting.
played in the same league in the same year. So we would have played each other.
Nice.
Cool.
We were crushing it.
You know what happened to me this morning? I got in the car to go to work and got my coffee, took a sip of coffee, and I was like, oh, it's like this nasty hard chunk of sugar or something.
Why does this keep happening to you in your drink?
That's true.
So I reached in my mouth, grab it. It's one of those earwig bugs. I was like, oh, God.
Gosh, dude.
Luckily, I didn't chew on it.
That
Was
is
able to throw it. But
What is an earwig?
like
Bug?
those black ones with the pinchers on the end of them.
on the tail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
That is so gross. One time when I was in, I probably told this story, but thirsty, and I remember having TV or something. I grab it and drink it, and the leafcutter ants were like all over it, and they just grabbed onto my lip and started biting the tar out of my lip. And it going from like a dead sleep at 2 a.m. to having your mouth attacked by leafcutter ants is one of the worst ways to wake up, I say.
I can
You're
imagine.
lucky you didn't get carried away.
Yeah.
And brought down the hole.
Now I have a new phobia. Thank you, guys.
Actually, did I already talk about this? I've seen wasps or hornets kill katydids like 3 times this year.
Katydids?
Yeah.
Define.
They're like big green leaf-looking bugs. But they killed them and then dragged them down into a hole, which is pretty crazy.
That is pretty crazy.
I always think
They're
of
like
those,
twice the
That's
size.
much better.
A little bit.
Is it not?
That's a little
Is
bit.
it still
It's
tinny?
better for me.
You
Okay.
sound identical.
Oh, well, I'm the same person. So, I always think of katydids. Yeah, I guess I am still tinny, but I always think of katydids as praying mantises that will sting you. That's how I distinguish. No?
This clump right here just freaked me out.
I mean, I genuinely wouldn't put it past my household to put an earwig in there, so.
I don't like that name, earwig.
Yeah, well, it's because they crawl into your ear. How aggressively do you guys drink hot beverages?
What do you mean aggressive? Define.
Like,
Please.
so your dad, was it your dad or your dad's friend? was like, I went out to eat with your dad and your dad's friend that one time, and he was like, no. I told you I need the hottest coffee as possible. And the guy was like, yeah, I just brewed it. He's like, no. Take this back.
Probably my dad.
Microwave it and bring it back to
If
me.
it's not the hottest, I send it back.
Right, exactly. So it's like some people take that and then they'll just like slam it.
Oh, no way.
I'll get my coffee in the to-go cup, take the lid off, and then drive for 30 minutes.
But I'm definitely like, you get to get it just a little bit, you know?
But it doesn't burn the tar out of your mouth?
Not if I give it
Well, you just
the,
do
like,
smaller
tiny...
sips.
That's what I mean. It's like those tiny little, like...
Yeah.
Like you just get a little bit.
You got to go back
Should I
and
do it
test.
again?
Exactly.
But I do understand, like, especially if I have a long drive, taking the lid off. I'll do it on my Yeti a lot. Take the lid off and let it kind of...
Right.
Yetis keep things like too hot.
Too hot.
Too hot.
For a long
It's like
time.
if
So that's the thing. I'll keep it off in the Yeti, and then after 30 minutes, you put that lid on it, and it keeps it that perfect temperature.
Can I just say that you just interrupted a woman?
For all the women out there, Steven is allowed to do that to me, and he's one of the only people in this world that I will not eviscerate when he does that.
Okay, that was
But
really
it's only because Steven, you normally will just put your foot in your mouth, and so it's almost like you'll interrupt your own self
That's
if I
true.
just let you go long enough.
And it's like watching, like, you let the interruption happen because you want to see the car wreck.
Yeah, exactly.
At
So
what point
please.
did I become the one that has to put my foot in my mouth and not Dano over there?
Me. I never put my foot in my mouth.
Dude, he's not flexible
Far
enough.
too tall.
Not flexible enough.
That is true. He does have the body of a gymnast. A female gymnast.
More like a Gumby.
Yeah, it's very Gumby.
I used to have a Gumby on
it's
my
like-
wall.
It's like the guys, inflatable guys. Is that what a Gumby is?
The big
No, he's
No, he's not.
claymation.
The inflatable guys at
That's
car
old.
dealerships?
He's a
Wacky
green-
Wave inflatable arm fling
green
TV.
guy.
That, yeah.
Right?
What?
Green?
Yeah.
Green?
Very
Yeah.
Gumby.
You looked at me weird, so I was like,
We have a
Well, I've got a lot of voices in my head right now from the headphones, you know.
I don't know if that's
Everyone's
from the
talking on top
headphones,
of each
bro.
other.
yeah. There is a lot of talking over each other. I want to blame Luke.
It's always
I don't think that's correct. I don't think that's correct at all.
We have a Gumby toy that's like rubbery, and kind of like. Never mind.
This is why I interrupt.
We have a Gumby toy.
I want to go back to the Yeti thing. I like the Yeti keeping it really hot if I'm outside in the cold for a long time. But if I want to finish my coffee before I get to where I want to go, the lid needs to stay off probably the whole time.
Yeah.
Controversial?
No, but the bad thing about Yetis, as opposed to like a cheaper cup, is like a cheaper cup you can use as a hand warmer, whereas the Yeti's so daggone
That's true.
insulated, it's just cold metal.
But it does last if you're
Forever.
hunting for a long time.
So
But your hands are freezing.
do you hunt with a Yeti,
I have a thermos. It's like the same thing.
right? So that's my thing is like,
Which I took to the beach, and I had a hot coffee, and it was still hot the next morning,
that's crazy.
which was pretty impressive.
I can't take my Yeti hunting because it's just the open lid, and there's no stronger scent in the woods than coffee beans, so it just give you away immediately. So I
You
always
gotta get
have
the
to
screw on top.
Yeah,
you hunt, Steve?
I hunt.
They give you guns?
Bow and arrow. Give me real.
A little less risky, I guess.
Dude, speaking of bow and arrow, my father, I'm trying to buy my dad's bow, and he let me keep it at the house.
Is it a crossbow or
Compound.
Okay.
And we used to be really into archery as kids. Like, we'd go do, like, not like tournaments, but like local tournaments sort of stuff.
4-H.
Shooting club in Fairfax.
Your club memberships as a child.
Pretty much.
Wow.
And so it was really fun today. I shot it when my daughter was asleep for like an hour in my backyard. Great experience, dude. So
that's
much
awesome.
fun shooting a bow.
What's the drawback?
I don't know. It's my dad's. I think he had it set to the lightest you could kill a deer because
Okay.
my dad's a little older. I would like to get it a little longer on the draw and a little heavier.
Yeah.
But
Dude, there's
I
something.
smacked my arm with
Ooh,
because it was a
that's-
little too
yeah.
like. It's a little bit of a weird draw, but pretty good groups. It's fun.
That's awesome.
My gosh, it's fun.
That's my problem with archery that isn't crossbow is like you have to practice so much.
It's so
and
fun,
I just
though.
don't have the time. But yeah, it's awesome. I love it.
Dude, the nice thing about it is, like, I mean, for me to shoot 8, I shot 3 rounds of 8 arrows, and it took 15 minutes. So if you were to go out there every day and just shoot 8,
Yeah.
it's like
Did you
3 minutes.
split any?
of time. No, but I got like
I split
within an inch.
other Lukes right in half one time.
Did you really?
So fun.
Yeah. Well, with my crossbow.
That's cheating.
But yeah, it's pretty funny. I got a picture of it.
That's cool. How many bow and arrows have you shot, Joy?
I don't need to shoot a bow and arrow because old Julie Dennis will shoot all the bow and arrows for me. She's like an expert.
Does she
Katniss
shoot
Everdeen.
bows?
Like a Katniss Everdeen. She does. Yep.
Oh, that's cool.
She's a bow hunter.
Really?
Yep, from childhood.
That's awesome.
That's crazy. I knew she fished. I didn't know she hunted as well.
Yeah, she's hunting, fishing, loving every day.
She's just all Madison.
yeah,
that girl.
she's Madison through and through. Yeah, so I mean,
Like
when
James
I-
Madison.
no, Dan.
Why did that sound like
was
a
so
creepy
creepy.
man in the back of the basement that we're in?
He just poked his head around the shelving unit.
Yeah.
Like James.
Hubbard's
Madison.
Cupboards. Just a plug.
Speaking of Madison, I was on Google the other day, Google Maps, and I found Dwayne Johnson's house.
Did you really?
It's actually labeled on, just like scrolling through
It's just
Google
called The
Maps.
Rock.
It's called Dwayne Johnson's house.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That seems kind of weird.
He seems like someone that would publicize where he lives. Like, look how cool my house is.
Yeah, I'm going to drive by
It's like
and
a
check
big.
it out.
It's a big farm in Charlottesville, I think.
I've heard
It's
that.
like in Gordonsville area.
Oh, is it Gordonsville?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Which is hundreds of miles from where we are. Sorry,
Oh, yeah.
go ahead.
Kanye's house is just like out there. Just you can drive right past it. I've driven past it.
Out
Is it
here?
here?
His whole ranch. No, not out here. Like out. You.
It's like in Montana or something.
Yeah, Montana.
Oh, so just down the road.
What were you doing in Montana?
Well, you know,
Yeah,
Steve,
what
I
were you
travel.
doing in Montana?
Yeah.
What's the most
need your
interesting place
itinerary.
you've been, Joy?
I've been a lot of places. The most interesting, or like, what do you mean by interesting?
Like, the place that stuck out to you the most.
Probably St. John.
Where's that?
It's like the
Caribbean.
Virgin Islands. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the perfect blend of like mountains and greenery, but then also like a lot of the blue water and like a weird little culture. I don't know. It's a fun place.
One
It's not-
time
Silly
I
people.
booked tickets to go there with Luke. And
Book tickets to?
the Virgin Islands.
Why did we book tickets to the Virgin
Our
Islands?
families.
My gosh. Let's clarify that. You might have dreamt that. I don't know what you're
No.
talking about. Oh, I do remember that.
After
the all-inclusive?
confirming many times that he was able to go. Both of them.
I broke my
His wife
foot.
too, just to clarify.
That was when I broke my foot.
No.
Just
Stop. Dude.
Oh, this is riveting. This is a riveting podcast.
Dude, I haven't listened to like very many interesting podcasts recently, which is 90% of what our conversations are.
Yeah,
So I'm lacking a little.
it happens. It happens. What do you guys know about Bunnyman Bridge?
Never heard of it.
Bunnyman Bridge?
Yeah.
I've heard of it.
Is that it? Is that all I
Yep.
got?
I know. nothing.
Until you say something about it and jog my memory.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I prepared this part of it like 3 weeks ago when for the first time we were supposed to record, and I haven't
remember.
reread it. And so there's a bridge, and there was like a murder there, and a dude dressed up like a bunny. It's local. It was like in Arlington.
Hey, Joy, wasn't there something you were going to tell us before we got on pod?
Yeah, you
I
said
don't remember, but that just triggered a memory in my mind. Do you guys remember the days when like our parents would make us duck in the back seat at gas stations because there was a sniper on the
Yeah.
loose in Virginia?
Super annoying.
Yeah, or like
Soccer games
they,
canceled?
They
Yeah, I was
said when,
gonna say our football season was canceled. And
Gosh,
if you're like walking through a parking lot, you were supposed to like bob and weave. Like that was that was a part of our life. And then there was the
I
clowns
was gonna
that were
say,
on the loose for a while.
The fact that people don't bring
And
up
the,
the summer of murderous clowns is just. I'll never get over it.
Do you remember the butt
Butt
slasher?
slasher. I was just about to say that.
There was a guy walking around malls slashing people's butts with a knife.
pretty badly.
It's the best.
And then that man dressed like a bunny on the bridge. It's like, and we just all are like, oh yeah, the bunny bridge man.
Bunnyman Bridge.
Oh yeah, the sniper that we had to, as 6-year-olds, dodge.
I think
There was
You
an
were 6.
Audible. You know how Audible gives you free
We were
books?
like 12.
Oh, really?
We're different ages, Joy.
What?
You're
wait,
closer to this baby.
How old was I? Because I might have been like
Probably
an infant.
like 2. Yeah.
Yeah. But I do remember that. I remember being in like a gas station in Manassas which is hundreds of miles away.
But that was like ground zero of where it was happening.
Yeah, I
Well,
remember
someone
my
did
dad
get
saying-
killed at a gas station in Manassas.
I think
Keep
he was the
talking
exact
over each
one.
other.
Yeah, Dan does that a lot. I think he was the one that we were at, the one by that Chipotle or whatever.
There wasn't even Chipotle when this thing was going down.
Wow.
I don't know if that's true.
What do you
or
know
not.
about Chipotle's origin, bro?
Dude,
She's got
Chipotle
something to say. You're
is
gonna talk over a
over-
woman again?
rated.
I had it
Okay,
for lunch
that
today.
is so false. We need to. That is so false. It is the okay. I'm sorry, Joey. I'll let you go in a second. But it is the only place you can get so much food for $10.
Nope, can't. I got it's $13.20 today.
Did you get guacamole?
No, I just got the standard bowl.
Did you get steak?
Yeah,
That's
obviously.
your mistake.
No.
Get chicken, and you can get so much food out of it.
Yeah, but then it's chicken.
It's fine. Gosh.
Well, it's not overrated if you don't get chicken.
Say it again.
It's overrated.
It's not overrated if you don't get chicken.
Joey, what were you going to
It
say?
is overrated if you
I
get
was gonna say I listened to a podcast on the making of Chipotle, how I made this or whatever that is about, and it was an interview with the guy who made Chipotle, and he basically started it as just like a mom and pop type burrito place, and then
blew up.
that dog ran with the bone, and he just went for it.
And
now-
Starbucks just took their CEO because
Did
he
they?
did such a good job, and Starbucks was in the dumps.
Yeah, you know who's making a real comeback? Kohl's.
Really?
Kohl's Sephora is.
I know
Yeah.
what it is, but
the
what is your
makeup.
girl's?
She was like, "Hey, it's a lot of money to like run a store on my own. What if I find something that's about to tank and partner alongside them? They already have all the stores in place, so they coupled together. And on top of that, Amazon started in Kohl's, started letting you do your returns in Kohl's.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
I
but it's
didn't
really
know that.
weird.
our guy Kohl's was like, "I'm going under. I got to link with some people," and he did it.
Dude.
I wonder how effective
Incredible.
Amazon's thing with Kohl's actually helped them.
I will say, every time I return to Kohl's,
But you do get a coupon.
and you get a coupon, and then
I did
But it's
not know
also
this.
Kohl's. Everything's a coupon.
That's true. But like, if it's 20% off and you find something for like $6 and you're like, I can spend $4 on this.
When is the last time you guys shopped at Kohl's?
This
before
summer.
before the coupons.
Oh, never.
That's a
No,
that's a
there's
good
always
idea.
been-
That's what
See,
I'm
that's
saying.
always a discounted place.
I understand, but before the Amazon discounts.
So it worked.
I've never used an Amazon discount.
Okay, so when's the last time you shopped at Kohl's, Dan?
I just said this summer.
Was that for business stuff or for regular attire?
Business.
Okay. When's the last time you shopped at Kohl's for regular attire?
Probably as like a teenager.
Yeah, see, it's been a while.
So, I've always looked at Kohl's like it was the rich person's store.
Kohl's?
He grew up in a trailer park, Dan.
Yeah, refer to episodes 1,
1,
2,
4.
3,
5,
4.
6.
And to this day, I won't go to Kohl's to shop because it's like I don't have Kohl's money.
Do you like start to
But
walk in?
But my wife will. She's like, I gotta get the kids clothes for school, so she goes to Kohl's, and I'm like, you're killing us.
It actually has a lot
You're killing us right
nicer
now.
stuff than I remember.
That's the problem. Is I feel like everything's kind of nice there.
Yeah, it's so expensive.
Yeah, I usually go to an outlet.
Do you know how cheap Goodwill is?
Not that cheap recently, honestly. Have you
Really?
been noticing?
No.
I
No.
go like twice a week.
Thanks
Okay,
a
well
lot.
you have a better.
A shirt there now, a men's shirt is like
$9.
It's like $6 or $8
That's
depending on like what you're
crazy.
getting, and you can like get that at Walmart.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Wild.
Yeah. Wild.
I always went to Goodwill for the stuff, not necessarily the
Dude,
clothes, but
yeah.
they had cool stuff. You know what I mean?
You know what inflation hasn't touched though? Yard sale. Like why bother? Like what? But I
Yeah.
love it. I love
Just
that
give
they're
it
like.
to me for free.
But I love that they're like gonna stand on business. Like
They're gonna
give me
stand
a
for their
dime or
cents, yeah.
not. You can't have it.
So we recently
A little bit of haggling there. Give them a nickel.
Yeah.
we're trying to help a friend of ours host a yard sale, and he has a lot of clothes. It's like he is an eclectic person, and we're really starting to go through the clothes, and he's like, you could probably get like $10 for that for like one shirt and all these things. I'm like, guy, we got to rethink about how yard sales run. We ended up not even doing the yard sale.
To you, hey Steven, you have to sell this. You put a like super high price tag on it. Was not something that's like actually worth that you own. Like something that means a lot to you.
Probably my drum set.
Really?
Yeah.
Like you try to oversell it?
Because my wife has frequently threatened that we need to sell the drum set. So, yeah, I would put like a $5,000 price tag on it. or
Wow.
something.
That's a lot.
It's probably worth like $2,000, but I would make sure no one buys it.
You know what's really annoying? I'm selling the skee ball machine or whatever.
I saw that.
I've gotten probably over 40 requests or like, hey, is this available? And I've responded to every single one, and every single person sucks.
It's probably because once you say it's available, they read the description and they're like, oh, it doesn't work. It doesn't have whatever.
One
I
person
need
asked
to
me
actually...
2 questions that were in the description. I was just like, check the description.
Dude, that's my least favorite, and I've ranted again on this podcast here for that. They say, what's your lowest price? Hey,
Yeah, someone said
ding
that
dong.
to me too.
I'm not going to negotiate. I'll tell them now. I don't negotiate against myself. What's your highest price? And they do not like that.
I
beautiful.
keep laughing because I can't get over the fact that it sounds like you're calling into the show with your microphone.
What do you mean?
It's so tinny.
It sounds like you're a caller.
That might just be your guys' headphones because I don't hear it that way. Do you hear it that way?
Dude,
Dan?
I just don't really hear Steve super
I just
well.
fixed it.
Dude,
What
you're
was that?
calling in again.
I was.
Are you on the split mic?
No, it was set to Phantom Power, and it's not on Phantom Power. That's on me. That's
What
on me, guys.
exactly is Phantom Power?
I
I've
will
used
be
it, but it's
better
confusing.
next time. It's when I don't know, man. It just needs power, or it doesn't need power. One of the two.
That's right.
Yeah.
You got it.
I need Ben here to even understand.
Hey, we're all friends, right?
Some
I voted life. I guess you can't vote as a
Can
kid.
you share?
Sorry. I will say that I took a quiz in the parking lot.
of like who you should vote for.
All right, don't tell us who you voted for. Just tell us if it was man or woman.
I will say that when I took the quiz, the answer that I got, I was like, that's not who I'm going to vote for.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I realized today, last week, that this is my 3rd election voting, and every 3 elections I voted for Donald. The only person I've ever voted for president is Donald Trump in my
That's
entire life.
really funny.
Isn't that weird?
Wow.
That's weird.
I didn't know that this is going to also make me sound like an idiot, but I really just am not educated when it comes to this. I didn't know there were other people on the ballot.
Like all the independents and stuff.
Independents, but also the other people I was like voting for.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I don't know. And then I was like, can I use my phone? Like,
Is there a phone a friend?
I didn't know. And I was like trying to rack my brain like, okay, I've heard that name before. And
Do you guys know that meme where it's like Key and Peele, he's like sweating, or the GIF or whatever? That's what I pictured.
that's what it felt like. And the man's
Just, like,
sitting,
can't decide.
the man's like sitting right in front of me because I had to do, that was the other thing. So I went in to register to vote 3 weeks ago and I had missed it by a day. And I was like, that's my signal. Like, I'm not
Did
supposed
you get
to vote.
removed by the ballot, or your ballot removed from Yunkin?
No.
What does that mean?
Okay.
Youngkin did all the. You have to confirm your status in order to vote.
You have 3
Didn't do
weeks to
that.
do it.
But I voted.
Yeah, I don't know. But I went in to try to vote and they were like,
No,
you
if
missed it by
you're
a day.
Removed. You have 3 weeks to get reestablished.
Rectify it or whatever.
Anyways, so
missed
then,
it by a
but they
day.
were like, you can go same day and vote provisionally. And I was like, not doing it. But then Hannah
Friend of the
friend
show.
of the pod, Hannah was like,
Visa.
you got to go. And then it was like kind of a bully thing,
Yeah.
Good.
a little bit. And so I did it. And now I'm like kind of interested to see who wins.
Wait, you did a
So,
provisional
hold on.
ballot today?
Yeah,
How
so
many
I don't
times
know.
did you
It doesn't
vote?
really count
It
'Cause
does.
you're
I did a provisional
Mexican,
ballot
right?
last time because I wasn't. What did you say?
because I'm Costa Rican.
And how many times did you
Oh,
vote
yeah.
because you're Mexican?
What was that?
That noise.
The cash box again?
Just once. And I can't even really, it's provisional. So like they halfway count it, I guess.
What do you mean
No.
provisional?
So provisional ballot is. I did this last time because I didn't register to vote for some midterm or whatever from where I moved. They take your ballot and they like run it through the system, so it won't be counted for like 2 weeks. So like if you were the one swing vote in the world, that you could reverse the election when they do count it, but very small amount of provisional ballots. But they'll count in like 2 weeks after.
If
they
I
confirm the
am, they're going to
information.
owe me a really big thank you.
Yeah. Eat or
Well,
That would
they-
be crazy if it all came down to your vote.
Would
Which
they let me
it
know?
did. The aliens knew the whole time. I'm still sounding a little.
Yeah, dude.
tinny.
Thanks for calling in, Steve.
I thought I fixed it with the Phantom Power thing, but I guess I didn't.
Tell us what it's like on the Beltway.
Traffic's Great.
Back to you in the studio.
Back to you in the booth.
Isn't it wild that we used to...
It's radio, and that's all it is.
Win prizes and you probably have a higher
I
chance.
was going to say, we used to, like, you know, wait to be the 8th caller and, like, win a prize.
I never did that.
Or, like, do a request. Like,
I missed out the prize.
hey, can you play Mbop? I love Mbop.
I only got, one time got through to request a song, and it was Skater Boy by Avril Lavigne.
Nice. I remember trying to
Such a good
record
one.
that on my tape back in the day.
Best.
Actually, it was complicated,
Did
but
you just admit to
you got it.
piracy?
I think she's for it.
Yeah.
She seems like a pirate.
She's punk.
Yeah. Rebel.
Stick it to the man.
That one's for you, Avril.
I
Friend
thought
of
it
the pod.
was Ava.
Friend of
Join
the
us
pod.
on the pod next time.
Yeah.
She is a friend of the show. So how was your week, Steve?
It was.
Let's go back to P2P sharing.
Hey, dude.
Which services did you use?
What are you
Sorry, what?
talking about?
Peer-to-peer sharing? You know, the downloading illegally stuff?
LimeWire.
I may have hit LimeWire, but it was like
Are you kidding me?
when they would give you a lot of viruses and everything. So I did. We never had high-speed internet, so I couldn't really do.
I would set mine and take like 3 days for a movie or something like that.
Oh, I never.
Didn't
really-
you just lecture me a couple weeks ago on?
Dude, I was 10 years old.
So
now-
you're
That was the
moral
only way
code?
to get music back then.
As a mature Christian man, I am very against pirating. I don't.
Our moral compass wasn't in check yet.
Exactly.
We were 10.
10.
Well, you were 10. I was like 6.
I feel like every time they got busted, I had to switch.
How old are you, Steve?
I'm 34.
Dang.
So are you.
I know, it's crazy.
You guys are old.
Are you 30?
I was 8 then. Because I'm about to be 32.
Oh, wow, you're old.
I know.
Gross.
I know.
Is that why your eyebrows look the way?
There it is. It's bound to happen.
Thank you, Steven.
We'll post a picture in the chat.
Yeah, so this week we got to do another ad read, guys. I apologize. You guys can skip ahead if you want, but we would really appreciate it if you watch this so we can get all the money. But Dr. Hinkle's cricket shoes, Dan?
Dr. Hinkle's cricket shoes are basically a knockoff of moon shoes. Just throw some antennas on there. You can hop around your woods like a freak, but they're fun. You got to chirp so people don't shoot at you because you don't usually shoot crickets. But yeah, I don't know. They're kind of overrated, but they are fun. And sometimes you get chased by chickens because they think that you are food.
Yeah. Make sure you wear orange, obviously.
But anyways, yeah, check them out. What's the website again?
Steve?
http:// Dr. Finkel's cricketshoes.com / /unsought / -s for 13% off of one shoe. You have to buy the other shoe full price.
And Dan, why don't you go and tell our listeners about the special offer they have?
Basically, if you put out some wet oatmeal in your driveway and you can get 3 other people that have those cricket shoes and they hop over and start eating that oatmeal, you get a free pair.
Now that's not 3 people. That's 3 shoes. So if you have someone in your neighborhood that has 2 feet and someone has 1 foot and that's 3 shoes, then you get the deal. So look
Yeah.
out.
They would.
I'm
Four
sure you've
shoes?
all seen crickets that only have 1 leg.
Right. 4 shoes too many. They only take 3.
It's a
so
risk.
you got to find 1 leg.
They typically, they sell them individual shoes,
Yeah.
but
You can buy 2 left and 2 rights too.
Yeah.
How do you like it?
well,
The part that you can rub on your other leg and make music.
I don't know if people know how long we've all, well, specifically me and Dan have known each other, but Dan has been this way his entire life.
It's like Ben and I say, you never go full,
you never go full Dan
but he does.
every time.
Ruin your career in Hollywood.
What's our timestamp at right now, guys?
Are you kidding? We're at 35 minutes.
Are you not having the best time?
Is that real?
That doesn't seem real.
Did it not record?
No, it's been going.
It checks out.
Uh,
Wow, I just feel like we've spent a lot of time together. Like, I'm enjoying this. This is fun.
This is great. I mean, we haven't talked about anything of purpose, but
What do you want to talk about purpose, Dan?
yeah, what's your purpose, Dan?
We've already talked about the alien overlords.
you just look like someone from a movie and I can't put a picture to it. Or an
Probably
input.
Tobey Maguire. Always
That's
Tobey
unfortunate.
Maguire.
Tobey Maguire. That might be an upsell.
Did you see me put the microphone to my lips like 3 different times?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
gonna. And then I was like, no, don't be the mean girl.
I don't
Steven, you look great.
think
Tobey
Tobey
Maguire
Maguire
looks awesome.
is the most
Spider-Man.
attractive man. Love him. He was Spider-Man for
Actually,
me.
I think I share his birthday.
You never go full dog.
Actually. So my whole life people have said, you could his brother in the movie. Like, oh my gosh, you look exactly like him. This is unbelievable. You look so much like Tobey Maguire. And so
I do
every
see it.
time it's like, well, if I shave it, it's a lot more pronounced. But every time it's like someone kind of takes a dagger to me.
Who have you heard? Who's
So
your
terrible.
doppelganger?
I have heard a few, but I don't know
Clint
some of their
Eastwood.
name. No.
Brad Pitt.
I've heard Tom Cruise, which is offensive because he's short. He's really short. But the one I've gotten a lot is the guy from Friday Night Lights. I think that's his.
The
what is it?
coach?
Yeah,
Yeah.
gotten that one.
He's got squintier eyes.
And then I've got, I think that's the main one I've gotten.
Joy, what about you?
There was a Chris Pratt once in a while, but when he was skinny, obviously.
I'm looking up the coach from Friday Night Lights. I
I-
don't see it, Luke.
I've gotten Steve-O. Mostly.
Yeah,
I get
Steve-O is
Steve-O.
for sure.
Dude, you are Steve.
I've gotten Jim Carrey like twice.
I think you more so just like move like Jim Carrey.
Yes.
Yeah,
I don't know
dude.
if you
I would agree.
necessarily look like Jim Carrey. It's
I
more of
got-
just your aura.
I got the Winter Soldier a bit as well.
I could see that a
Which
little bit.
he's more attractive of a guy.
Yeah.
So
2
I'm
weeks
like,
in a
cool
row
with
talking
that.
about
The other
Winter
guy I've
Soldier.
gotten is the guy that plays the blind guy. No, the guy that can't open his eyes in X-Men. The guy who shoots red out of his
Cyclops.
eyes. Yeah.
The guy with one eye.
I don't see that.
I don't think he has one.
He
eye.
has 2
Oh,
eyes.
yeah. I know what you're talking about.
What's your doppelganger?
I always feel like it's awkward even doing doppelgangers because
Right.
it's like you're admitting that like somebody who's definitely more attractive. Like,
Right, of
Tobey
course.
Maguire is like you're like
Whoa!
Do you think Tobey Maguire is attractive? 'Cause I don't think
No,
that he's
but
attractive.
like-
absolutely.
So that was even more of a...
the one that I get a lot is Sandra Bullock, and which is weird. I
the
think
eyebrows.
it's well, wait for this one and Kourtney Kardashian. You
No, I wouldn't get
You
that.
got that one?
I'm sorry. I have looked up my birthday celebrities.
I share a birthday with Joe Pesci.
Britney Spears.
I think
Oh.
Nice.
I'm... who's the Princess Diaries girl?
What was it? Courtney what?
Kourtney Kardashian.
Anne Hathaway?
Anne Hathaway.
I might be
Yeah.
wrong with that, though. Now that I'm saying it, it doesn't sound right. Hold.
Stand by.
We've done this before.
Do you guys believe that people that are born like around your same time frame are like, like the signs like Sagittarius and all of that? Do
I
you
don't
really
know
think
what
they're
those are.
similar to you? But like think about people that are like born around your same when you find out somebody's like, when's your birthday?
February.
When you find out somebody's February and you're like, oh yeah, I knew I liked you. Like do you ever think that way?
I don't think I've seen
I don't
any
know.
Joel
Correlation.
Embiid, Blake Griffin,
of who I can think of.
James Madison, obviously.
There he is.
There he is again.
Friend of the
This
pod.
guy, real popular.
Alexandria Daddario, or whatever her name is. Vlad Guerrero.
Vladimir.
Not who I thought, though. Alan Tudyk, who was Steve the Pirate.
Did you guys used to play backyard baseball?
Yes, Pablo.
Yeah. Pablo Sanchez. I was
Oh.
gonna ask,
A
who's your favorite?
legend.
Is this a game?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
fun.
you're like right behind this generation, but Dan and I, and probably Steven, he's a little absorbed right now, but we are a part of the computer game EA Games Challenge Everything
EA
group.
Games.
Challenge
Or shoot.
Everything.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
It's in the game.
Yeah, that used to be it, and then they changed it. Challenge Everything.
Well, EA Sports was it's in the game, but
Oh.
EA Games is different.
Yeah. Regardless.
I do remember EA Sports.
Yeah, but did you like play them on your computer?
Yeah, I think so.
Hmm.
Depends. I can't remember the games.
Kamala just won New York.
Shocker.
Wait.
Last week?
Yeah.
Musk. Still
What about Iowa?
I don't know. I have
Not yet.
in
That
front
was,
of me
That was the big one.
a list
Bring it
of 10 of the most popular cereal. The 10 most popular.
Tiger.
Definitely.
Okay,
Yeah.
Tony the Tiger,
Toucan Sam.
which is good. Tony the Tiger's on here. I just don't know where.
Loops.
Is
The Lucky Charm.
He was the man.
That's definitely
Bear
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
What?
say.
and Crisp.
Yeah, didn't have.
the guy.
This might be the worst
Oh
podcast ever.
yeah.
Started off with
No.
No, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate honeycombs.
Snap, Crackle, and Pop.
The Cocoa Pebbles. Was that toucan as well?
It was
he-
Cocoa
was he a
Bird,
bird?
number 6.
yeah.
Getting blown up. Number 1 was Toucan, or is Captain Crunch.
What about the man who makes the cinnamon toast crunch? He was like kind of a baker.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, he's not on here.
Yeah, I
you guys
didn't think
did
he
not
would be.
say Lucky the Leprechaun.
Yeah,
I-
he did.
Oh,
May
I
have.
take that back.
He didn't
I
say
think I
his
did.
name. He didn't call him by his name.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the last one you didn't say, which I would not have said, is
Wait.
you're not gonna get it. It's a seasonal cereal.
He's Apple Crisp.
That's not seasonal.
There's seasonal.
Apple-
Seasonal.
Frankenberry.
Oh, come on.
Never heard of it.
It's like Count Chocula,
Never had it.
but
Never
it's a
heard of it.
spinoff.
How did they research this?
Dude, I don't know. A lot of these ones that I was looking it up because I saw a cereal earlier today, and I was like, I wonder what that would be a good talking point or whatever. And so I'm looking up like most popular cereals, and some of the questions are like top 10 cereals that make me have negative thoughts or whatever. It's like, what is happening to our society,
Have we ever talked about the Mandela effect?
dude?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
there
3
was
times.
one that I heard this past week. It was unbelievable, but I can't put my foot on it. It was like a show or a song. I mean,
Dude, it's so weird.
what do you got?
Do you guys think we're living in a simulation?
Yes.
Why?
Do you ever just? Well, I talked about
I'm-
this with when it was me and you and Ben. Like, you ever think about like electricity?
What about it?
Like, just really
Was
think
that when
about it.
Stuart was talking about that cow that exploded?
Yeah, Stu gets deep real fast. No, but I mean, like, you ever just like really stop and think about like the fact that FaceTime, for instance, it's transporting your face
So weird.
anywhere. How is it doing? Other things can be explained, like all of it can be explained by like really smart people.
But we don't understand it. Are they just making it up?
That's what I'm wondering.
Also,
That's just something stupid people say.
Yeah,
you sound like one of the simulations.
Beep, bop, boop, boop.
like think about a plug, for instance. Just think about it.
Why is it invisible?
You just put something in it, and then it powers
Not the
things.
plugs. The things that what blows my mind is how I can send a text to someone and they get it immediately, and it invisibly went up to a tower and bounced across
Yeah,
the country
that's my thing.
in a second.
Like, plugging in is, you can explain that because it's
If
just all
you're
a
part of the
circuit
simulation.
and everything. But
Exactly.
as far as like, you get transported back in time 600 years, and you say, we got this box, and it sends a magical message through the air.
It sounds like a
and
snake oil
someone,
salesman.
Yeah, someone on the other side of the world has another box, and they can see your letter. They're like, okay, what pigeon is flying across the world that fast?
Yeah,
You're like, nah, it's magic.
but it's all invisible waves.
Yeah, dude.
It blows my mind.
I don't understand how radio waves work. Like, and
Yeah.
that's the bedrock. That was the very first thing that they were able to do is shoot these radio waves. Or how does a ship in the middle of the ocean get a telegram?
Think about a record. Even that.
That one blows my
Even
mind.
a
it's
record. It's
crazy.
just like, I'm sorry, what?
Is it micro movements in the record that makes the noise?
That mimics a human being's voice
It's
and
insane.
music?
Right.
Well, I feel like it makes sense to read it, but how does it get written?
Right.
Dude, maybe it's a simulation.
It's all... Nobody
But how do they
knows
create the
this.
simulation?
Steve?
It's God. God has the simulation.
Okay, but if we're talking simulation, it's not God.
Yeah, we're talking hypothetical here.
How is
If
that
it
any
wasn't
different?
God.
How's that any different than what we believe it as to be God? So God already knows he's outside of time and space, right?
Right.
So he has this simulation of all of us going through it, making our own choices, doing all these things, but he already knows what our fate is. He already knows what the simulation is because he's outside of it and he can see the whole picture.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but for the sake of the argument,
while that's
Okay. So
Jeff Bezos
from
Right.
Men in Black.
as
Yeah.
time goes on, right, and we're getting more into like a surrogate type world, like the Bruce Willis movie, as AI and everything, we just wear the visors and live.
who
What's
gave
the
this caller this
other
much
life?
airtime?
Right. What's the Dwight Schrute other life or
Yeah, second life.
Second Life?
So funny.
So that's inevitably where the future is going with all, like a paraplegic or whatever can like put on these
Meta.
glasses and live this secondary life using this robot or whatever. And so eventually everyone does that, and you're just born into it like the Matrix, and they instantly plug you into it, this other world, other life. And so you're living that, not knowing that your real husk of a gloop body is in this other dimension that's just plugged into a computer.
I think that we just like keep going and going and going with technology until we hit a point that the world restarts, and then it's like a whole new, it's like Groundhog Day, and we have to like from the beginning
Unless
learn it
it's
all
already
again.
happened
What do you mean the
multiple
world
times.
restarts? Like we create another world and go...
No.
Dave-
You may like we hit the point where like God's like, all right, you figured it all out. Like we're good. You got to the point of God, but I'm still better. So, and the wipes
That's
us
an
out,
interest-
and
that's an
we
interesting
start
take.
again from cavemen.
A little
and
bit
we
Tower
build
of
it
Babel
back.
style.
Straight up Tower of Babel.
But that's, I mean, for sake of argument, that's an interesting point because we are advancing. I'm not saying, I don't think we could ever get to a point where we understand like the heavenly ways, but we're getting to a point where we're understanding the earth and its ways so well that
Yeah.
what if there's like a completion percentage?
Y'all
Just for
played
sake of argument,
too
pretend
many
we've
EA
been
games.
hanging out with Joe Rogan
If
and
you can't
eat
even
mushrooms.
complete all of Grand Theft Auto, there's no way.
So
It's true. I can't.
I had a response planned out, and then you just threw the Grand Theft Auto at me.
I take the point even further with race, where it's like races are intermingling so much now that I think we get to a point where there are no different races
Careful.
anymore, and then God starts it again, and He says, "I want there to be color again, like different color."
I feel like the
So,
only intermingling
people.
for the most part is America. If you've traveled around the world, races aren't really integrated that much.
I understand, but I'm saying eventually it
So-
gets to that.
Here's what happened. We started out Garden of Eden or Mesopotamia or whatever your
Okay, tell us what happened, Steve.
religion is.
Who's Mesopotamia?
It's like Tigris Euphrates, cradle of civilization. Basically where life started and civilization started happening. And everyone was this shade of brown. And
Yeah,
people...
they were made from the dirt.
people went...
Careful.
No. This is it. Everyone was like mixed colored or
Careful.
whatever. Just a nice caramel.
Okay.
And people
Sun-kissed.
moved all the way to the cold, and they got bleached white. And people moved all the way to the
Careful.
hot, and they got darker brown, like African black. And after time, everyone homogenizes, and we go right back to that nice caramel color.
That's
well,
what I'm saying. It's
that-
the start and the stop.
Not if they live in the north or back at the equator. Then you still wouldn't be like intermingling enough to.
I'm just saying there's
offset that.
so much globalization and intermingling and stuff that eventually that is going to take over. It's going to dominate the gene pool and everything.
Not convinced.
Okay, you don't have to be
I
convinced.
think it would go back, revert in like 6 generations or
If-
so.
Okay, if it's 6 generations. But we're...
This already. I'll tell you about it one day. But
enough.
you'll see it in theaters one day. Don't worry.
What's it called?
Merely Myron.
Yeah,
It doesn't
it's
have.
the sequel of Meerkat Manor.
It doesn't have one yet.
I think, especially with like the politics stuff, it definitely feels like it's like, and this kind of goes to what you were saying, like with God, but it definitely feels like it's like a story.
Yeah,
Like what's happening with Musk and the aliens.
right.
No, but really, it definitely feels almost like a story.
It's
and
going
it
to
almost
get
seems like
hit Monday when we drop the episode, and everything that I said is going to have come to fruition. I'm going to say, you guys thought I was an idiot.
Everyone's
you'll
the
be
same
arrested-
color.
Arrested so fast.
No, I mean like the aliens and stuff.
You'd be arrested so fast.
I know, they know it. They probably already know it now.
Oh, dude, of course they know.
But yeah.
They're listening.
Golly, it came back to me, and then you started talking, and then it left.
Just call
already.
back in tomorrow. See if you think about
Just
it.
call back in. Yeah. So the Bible says, like, in Revelation, it would be like the days of Noah. In the days of Noah, it was when the Tower of Babel and all that happened, and where humanity was reaching the pinnacle of like reaching up to God and being God, and that gets into like all the weird stargates and conspiracy theories.
Do
and stuff
you
like
think
that.
that's sorry to interrupt you, kind of, but do you think that is, you know how you talk about like an ancient civilization that was very advanced?
Sure.
Do you think that's kind of what the Tower of Babel was like? You think they were more advanced than us at that point?
Me personally,
Yes.
I don't know. I honestly, I don't think that. but I want it to be true because it's so much cooler than just our history.
Than just like a tower that was like 6 stories.
I think there's so many weird things about like we're finding. What's the ancient city that they are just starting to uncover or whatever in Turkey?
Babylonia.
Just starting to
Atlantis.
Yeah, no. Anyway, it's really frustrating.
Is it like a common name?
No,
One that
it's
we've
like a
known
weird. It's a weird name,
Kazakhstan.
but it's this like
in Turkey.
ancient city in Turkey, which is where Noah would have docked his boat, basically, like where he came off and whatnot. And the Tigris and Euphrates and everything flow out of Turkey. A lot of things happen in Turkey, but this city is supposed to be like 10,000 years old, and they're finding
Is
technology.
it Ephesus?
No, technology and stuff that is way
That word?
No. Way more advanced than what it should be for the time period and stuff. So history is like, first of all, history gets
The highlighted word.
No.
Midiat.
no. History gets so rewritten all the time just by the winners. You know, it's and so
Yeah.
like, I don't know. We go over this weekly, but it's just crazy to me.
We should rename our podcast to Unsought Theories.
Yeah.
Okay.
Steven's just mad because of all the branding work he's done.
How about Simulation Steve podcast?
Simulation Steve, I love it. Love it.
It's probably his best nickname he's
Can you guys
ever
carry the
had.
conversation so I can find the name of the city? Is that okay?
I don't know if
Shaughnessy.
we can. I've been doing too much talking, apparently, they say.
Who says?
I don't know.
I think Steven's just reading you fake reviews.
That's a really fun hobby to do.
Let's take this time to go through some of our comments.
Bartholomew in Texas.
Barthol.
And not Bartholomew. That's
Dude,
interesting.
Bartholomew.
He's one of our listeners. Let's maybe not make fun of his name.
No, I don't think we're making fun of his
I
name.
think you're okay to stop now.
Buddy.
Did you just turn
Buddy?
Pakistani?
I said it was a cool name. It's just a unique name.
All
Can
right.
I not?
All right, bub. Go ahead.
Oh.
Anyways, he's already written in about the
Good for you,
grandmother Hubbard's cupboards, and he let us know that he's ordered one. It's already arrived. Incredible
Wow.
arrival time, 3 to 7 minutes
I'm moving.
from time of
Jeez,
order to time
she
at
is
door.
good.
That's why
She's
we work with
really
the best.
good, and he really loves it. He said that the functionality of the door is beyond anything that he has ever seen. It's as if it is doused in WD-40. Opens and closes like a charm, and he's just really grateful to you guys. And he loves the color. He chose cottage girl pink. So thank you, Bartholomew.
You know what?
Honestly,
we only work with the
Cottage
best.
Girl Pink is a slept-on cupboard.
It really
shade.
is. I think it's coming back.
Yeah, it's a pop.
And that's one thing we forgot to mention. You might want to leave it outside for like 2 to 3 weeks while it airs out because the WD-40 smell is strong.
Yeah, and they just painted it.
Somebody
3 to 7
remind
minutes
me-
ago.
For next week to get into Tartarius or Tartaria. It's
Wait.
fascinating.
Is it a boy or a girl?
It's a civilization that no one knows about, but everyone knows about.
Kind of like
Is that in Turkey?
kind of
No,
like
it's a different one.
Croatoan.
Did you figure it out?
No, I'm still working on it.
Isn't Tartarus like a Greek, like dungeon kind of? Not dungeon, but like a
Tartarus Rift, isn't that a thing?
something
Tartarus
like that.
is like the
I feel like it's
underworld,
on like
thought.
the underworld stuff.
Going back to the conspiracies and like the fact that the lives
You can't keep it.
No, I had to go.
You better hope a certain person
Go
with
Turkey,
I know, but what part? European.
The mountains.
Turkey.
the Middle things. But like, have you really ever thought like what the Middle Ages means?
Well, and it's such a different culture back then. Like, it was so deadly and like
Right.
so plaguey.
Reverse
and-
real fast because I feel like you're in a different wavelength than you're at.
No,
Because-
he's correct.
Okay, so what do you mean? What does it mean? Middle Ages?
So like we're told like all of these, even biblical times, if you go back all the way to there, of like everybody just taking over everything constantly, and like
Yeah.
life is just a constant war,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
Which I mean, it kind of is now too, but not really. But you think back on it, and you're like, that was just reality for years and years and years and years and years
Keep going.
and
years.
years. And now we just read about it. We're like, oh, yeah, Middle Ages, or like, oh, the Renaissance, or
Yeah.
like whatever. But it's like, did those things actually happen, or is that just part of the story?
Oh.
I feel like
Well,
you're
I
going
feel like we
17
also-
different directions
Well,
with that. Like
it's-
the one, it's like the barbarism that you had to deal with that we have not had any experience or any conception of what is real with
Sure.
the barbarism and everything with that. But then you're also saying like, are we being lied to? And
Yes.
Yeah.
what's also crazy is like,
I don't
can
feel
I
like it was that wild.
Yeah, it does,
can I trust my own memories? And like, did I just get plopped here into this existence 2 seconds ago, and everything that I remember is fake?
that is a large right turn, my friend, from the Middle Ages.
No, but because you're saying we can't trust
Oh, yeah.
what the history
I
books say,
understand, but
but we can't trust what our own
Just a
brain says
downloaded
sometimes.
memory.
yeah, I understand what you're saying.
But if you
Simulation.
also look at it, I feel like our civilizations move almost just as much as back then. It just seems a lot shorter because we're just reading about it.
Yeah, but like think about how long it took them to like get the wheel together. Think about how long it took them to go from maps to what we have now. Like
One thing,
all of civilization.
Yeah, but we have
maps.
tools that got developed that help us move so much faster.
Right,
all at
right,
once.
right. But it took so long. Why didn't it take so long?
yeah, and think about like
You think you could just come up with the wheel?
Yes.
your life was constant. Like, sure, there's probably places that were pretty secure, but you're basically like hoping today wasn't the day that someone came for your village
Right.
all the time.
It
And that's
happens.
it happens on a where I get what
Yeah.
you're saying,
No, it
but
happened.
it's not bad. Never mind.
Yeah, that just happened in Burkina Faso.
I don't want to make it sound like people's suffering is a simulation. So that's kind of what I was going for, but I don't want it to sound that way.
There's so many fewer people suffering now than were suffering 500 years ago.
That's not true.
From
I
what we've been told.
Disagree.
I think that on a larger scale, like maybe on if the numbers were the same, maybe. But I think that there's so many more people now that it.
Okay, well,
makes-
percentage-wise,
Okay.
can we say that?
Yeah. Thanks for clarifying.
Yeah, percentage-wise.
Thank you.
There's so many fewer people.
What are you basing it off of?
Next caller.
There's more people living now than have ever died.
So
Yes. So
So the fact that there are so many people in affluence and not in
ruin.
ruin, what I
Plaguey.
forget the word that we were just saying. Yeah, it's like I don't know. I mean, there are people that are suffering and stuff, but
Also,
the percentage of those people has never been smaller.
we see like the Middle Ages and the Roman times as very dirty cultures. Like we've talked about how weird sex stuff, very strange. But that stuff happens today. We just don't see it as much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I also think that again, that was so in your face. And
Yeah, it was
part of the
celebrated
culture.
more.
Yeah, well, yeah. Whereas like now, it's like in the shadows of society.
Which is probably worse.
I think,
I don't know.
I
I
think
don't know that I would say it's
society
worse.
Maybe not worse.
society has just learned that like functioning in that capacity doesn't prove functional. Like you literally can't be having orgies every night. Like you have
Says
to.
never mind.
But I'm saying, like, if you look at
P.
Roman
Diddy
culture,
did it.
that's true. That's true. And look at him now. That's what I'm
true.
trying to say.
But that's
It's
what.
like-
That's
Success,
because we have a
Well, I think that's what a lot
nation-
of the people that died from.
Thank you for talking over me once again, you hypocrite. Our nation is like so undergirded with Christianity and Christian values and stuff that we take for granted and we don't think about that. Whereas like we think that we are so above that type of society or anything, or I take that for granted. Whereas when you remove that Christian underbelly or undergirding or
compass, moral
yeah.
compass.
Like we'll go right back to there so
Right.
quickly,
But-
and we see that in other cultures
but
that don't
that's-
have.
Like, I think that's happening in our. Like, you hear about stuff like happening in Congress and stuff, like orgies in Congress, and like, I think it does happen. I just think it's.
That would be the grossest one.
yeah, I was just thinking the same.
So boring.
Yeah,
So boring.
I'm sure they hire people that make it exciting.
Well,
And
Dulles
to our 12-year-old
Airport.
listeners, go
Dulles
home.
Airport is the number
It's
one
over in 10
sex
minutes.
Stop
trafficking.
it! There are middle
Number
schoolers
one
that listen to this.
trafficking in the world is
It
in
is
Dulles Airport.
That is actually
Yeah.
important for them to know about
Be
sex
careful about
trafficking in
Dulles.
general. No,
Yeah.
just in general. It's
But
a very real thing.
specifically Dulles.
Yeah.
And just be safe.
which is far from us.
Going back to your podcast a couple weeks ago, you guys talked about Christopher Columbus, and this kind of ties into what we're talking about
I
now.
love that you listen to our podcast.
Rarely, but
I was
when
wondering who that one person was.
rarely.
1
But
million.
think about like how you were like, well, everybody painted Christopher as like such. I hated calling him Christopher. Just
It was Cristobal, first of all.
everybody painted, but then it's like, okay, go. How many times has that gone? He could have been a really upstanding guy. Like we don't know that. This is all hearsay from 500 years ago. This is
Right.
people's perception from 500 years ago. So it's like, somebody told their grandchild, and that grandchild
Well,
told
that's the
their
thing
kids.
is,
and then-
it's not just by word of mouth. We have like letters and stuff that were written at the time and stuff.
yeah, but I mean, letters.
Simulation.
Letters.
Yeah, why do we trust anything?
That's
But
what I'm saying.
That was my point.
Why do we have those letters from 500 years ago?
Do
My-
we have them? Or
my
have we just been
point-
told we have them?
Thank you, Luke. Listen, you can't have this podcast with Luke and I. And I wish Ben were here. Ben, we miss you.
Yeah, Ben
If there's
would
nothing
be-
concrete, though, what is there to live for? Am I
Okay,
right?
easy. We are not encouraging.
That was Dan playing guitar in a cemetery.
Yeah.
That was beautiful, Dan.
No, it wasn't. Please, there is lots to live for. Middle schoolers that listen to our podcast.
Golly, if there's nothing concrete. That's going to be our next T-shirt. So if you subscribe to the Patreon, we will put you in a raffle for T-shirts. The next 5 subscribers will be in a raffle with several other people.
Put your name in quick, because 5 out of millions goes quick.
It was quick.
All you have to do is comment on whatever platform you're on.
I think I said our Patreon subscribers.
Yeah, they can still comment.
Okay.
Like and subscribe.
Didn't you also say that anybody who orders one of Mother Hubbard's cupboards will also be entered in?
Yes.
That's a separate raffle.
Oh,
Is
fair.
it
fair.
Also,
Afternoon
send us
with-
money.
Afternoon with Dan.
If you send us money, you can get into the raffle.
Also, you can be on the podcast. That's how.
That's how I made it.
Yep.
20
And
bucks. 20
thanks
bucks
for
each.
these new cups.
Make us cookies and hot chocolate.
And you will be on the pod.
So yeah, guys, it really does help if you like and subscribe and comment and leave us a rating or a review, or tell people about us, or make other people sign
Steve,
up by
don't
stealing
you-
their phone and subscribing on their own podcatchers.
Don't you have a meet and greet next week? You want to tell
I
them
do have
about?
meet and greet, yeah, in downtown San Diego.
Mm.
Go to the mall there, the local one. You guys know what it is.
Yeah, sure.
I'll be at the Sephora, obviously, and
In Kohl's.
there are. I can't afford Kohl's.
Well, then you definitely can't afford Sephora.
It's true.
I'm not shopping there. I'm just standing there
Then why can't it be Kohl's?
because I can't even be in the same room with those people.
Go to Sephora at the Sunnyside Mall in San Diego. My gosh, how hard is it to say? 3:30 p.m.
Yeah,
Dan, don't you have an event?
Yeah, I'll be in L.A.
dude, we should hang out. That's not far. That's not too far away.
Yeah.
I'm not going to
We'll talk about
lie.
it.
When I listen to the podcast, since I'm rarely on it, when I'm listening to it, which again is rare,
Dang it.
and you guys start doing this, in my head, I'm like, wait a second. I know that they're all kind of losers, and they're not actually in these places.
Wait a second.
But then,
Do not break the fourth wall.
but then, I'm constantly like, I think they are actually in this place, and then I'm like, wait a second, and it really does mess with my head. I don't know.
The podcast is taking off. We're going places.
That's what I'm trying to say. I
Yeah.
genuinely actually don't know if you guys are filming it in a different location, and you do that well. So whether you are filming it in a different location or not, like very impressive.
Well, this
We're
is
not
just this
filming
is
it.
just an event
It's a-
for like
it's a
signing
meet and greet.
autographs. Yeah.
Either way, like in my head, I'm like, wow, I guess maybe they are.
Yeah. Stay tuned next week
Send
for
us
big news.
money. You can get a Steve Man plush doll.
Dan, you can say it on Patreon.
Tactful.
Yeah, a little more.
An unsought opinion.